Maybe first impressions do matter. I have never been too fond of my brother Theo's girlfriend, Georgina. Theo is 28 years old and his girlfriend, now fiancé Georgina, is 26. My name is Kelly, 27, and what I'm about to tell you may be hard to believe. Theo started dating Georgina only 3 months ago. I met this woman only a few weeks ago, and guess what? They are already engaged to be married. You know that saying, when you know, you know? I still don't believe it. My feelings for her quickly shifted when I overheard her conversation during their engagement announcement party. She was looking at her wedding ring, shining it at her friend Felicia. That's huge. Well, I think it could be a little bit bigger. Maybe she was joking, but with her smile, her eyes widened at the diamond. Felicia only pushed at her arm, shushing her. I approached the two women, giving Georgina a soft smile. Welcome to the family. I'm glad I'm not the only girl in the family. Maybe if I were younger, I would have believed her veneered smile, but instead, it made me cringe. She pulled me into a hug, whispering in my ear, "We're going to be the best of friends." My brother Theo and I were polar opposites. I went into the family business while my brother wanted to work at an 8 to 5 job. It isn't a bad thing by all means, but growing up with only our father, Randy, 54 years old, it was easy to fall into the trap. For legal purposes, I won't go into details about what my family does for money, but for the most part, it's not legal. It's nothing too serious by any means, but once you start, you can't stop. At least, that's what my dad says. He has never been one to force us to do anything we didn't want to do. So when Theo said he wanted out on the family business, Dad let him go. But as a result, he lost his inheritance and support from our father. Theo wasn't bothered by it, but hey, everyone has their own ways of dealing with money. My brother and I were relatively close, so we would always go out to lunch, just the two of us. I only started to get suspicious of Georgina when he brought up her reaction to the inheritance. She has no right to be upset. You're making your own way in life, and she should respect that. She does. Georgina just doesn't think it's fair, is all. I'm still his son, and you aren't doing much for him in the company at least. Yet I'm scorned for it. And you have similar sentiments about it? Of course not. Money has never interested me as much as it has you and Dad. I just find it a little peculiar that she has such an interest in your money. We're getting married. It's not that weird. You'll understand when you find someone. I chuckled. Maybe he's right. I decided to push my negative thoughts about my future sister-in-law and invite her to my house for a girls' night. She asked if she could be friends with her. I agreed. The more, the merrier. I brought a friend as well. It was the friend I had seen early at the engagement announcement party. I brought my friend Lucy. The four of us sat together in the living room sipping on wine and getting to know one another better. There was clear divide between the two friend groups, but to keep everything not so awkward, I went to make a meat and cheese platter. I asked Lucy to join me at the kitchen as I began preparing. "So, how do you like your bro's new boo?" "She's alright. Just alright?" I sighed deeply, giving her a side eye. "I don't know. There's something off about her that I can't put my finger on it." "Like what?" "I don't know. I might just be overthinking things. I'm just worried Theo is rushing into this relationship rather fast. They just met 3 months ago." "Oh, that's true." Everything will work out in the end. After I finished, Lucy said she had to go use the restroom, so I was off to carry the meat and cheese board. But as I entered the threshold, I began listening to their hushed conversations. "I mean, he's not bad to look at, older than what I was planning for, but hey, I got to pay the bills somehow." "You're so bad." "Where do you get the courage to do this?" "It's kind of fun. I mean, it's going to be easy for Randy. He's an older guy with loads of cash, and I'm a cutie. I can't deny that. It's a walk in the park." "Shh! Isn't his daughter in the other room?" "I know. I'm just kind of antsy. I expected the bang sooner than later. But that's his dad. I know it will take some time, but this isn't my first rodeo." I couldn't believe my ears. I knew it was about the money, and now, since Theo isn't getting an ounce of inheritance, she's going to the big man, my father? He's notorious for dating young women, so maybe that's why Georgina thinks she has a chance. What she doesn't realize is how dangerous my father is. I cleared my throat before entering the room, pretending to have just walked in. I needed time to process this. Maybe this was the wrong thing to do. I should have confronted her right then and there, but at the same time, I knew revenge would be better, whatever that may be. What should be known is my father is not a nice man. As I said, his business, or what my brother and I call it, his company, tends to do not so great things. So I knew that if I shared what Georgina was planning on doing, it might not end so well. But hey, you mess with my family, you might get hurt in the process. The next day, I went to his house and went straight to his study. He was always in there doing work. Knock, knock. He raised his eyes from the papers in front of me. Hey, honey, what brings you here? I have some bad news. What happened? His voice is already growing serious. Oh, nothing work-related. It's about Theo. What about Theo? It's his finance. I shared with him every detail that I could remember. He wasn't visibly shocked, but I guess disappointed. I had that in mind when I first met her. She was so consumed with showing off her ring and then meeting the family. That's not the worst part, Pops. What is it? She's planning to woo you? I couldn't help but laugh. Me? That's what I heard. At least, you believe me, don't you? Yes, of course, but I need definitive evidence. I'm just giving you the heads up. We decided to work together on this plan, coordinating a dinner at my house. We invited my brother and Georgina over. The entire night, I watched Georgina stare at my dad occasionally. Any chance she got, she would laugh at his jokes. I decided to really test the waters. Theo, can you help me get the dessert? As we were in the kitchen, I lollygagged long enough and returned to the dining room. My father's cheeks were bright red, as if he may have gotten flustered. After dessert, Theo was ready to go home, but Georgina wanted to stay a bit longer, perhaps because my father was staying longer too. So we four lounged in the living room and partook in shallow conversations. My father wanted to stay later to talk to me about his observation, but how could I, with Theo and Georgina, not making a move to leave? Instead, my father asked Theo, you have work tomorrow? Yeah, early in the morning. I could tell he was exhausted. Y'all should get going. Oh, in a little while. I'll probably stay as late as you. My son's tired. Take him home. His voice clipped, causing an embarrassing shade of red to come on Georgina's red cheeks. When they finally left, he turned to me and said, As soon as you entered the kitchen, she couldn't stop petting my leg with her high heel. I told you so. Well, it ends here. For the upcoming weeks, my father began reciprocating Georgina's advances. Not anything physical, or so he claims, but he flirted with her numerous times and decided to take her on a few lunch dates without my brother there. Things were beginning to escalate. Either Theo was oblivious or he was swallowing his pride. Either way was a bit embarrassing. I knew eventually things were only going to get worse from then on. A few weeks passed and I received a panicked phone call from my brother. She ended things. I'm sorry to hear that, Theo. I don't get it. And you know the worst part? She did it over the phone. Too prideful to say it face to face. Apparently, she's mailing the engagement ring back to me. Has my father already done it? Break her into submission? As soon as I hung up on Theo, I drove straight to my father's house. Either he hadn't done it or he did, and now this is the aftermath. Hi, I said, tiptoeing my way into his study once again. Hi, honey. Sometimes I did think my father was deranged. So, did you do it? Do what? Dad, please stop pulling my leg. All right. Yes, I did. And it went just as planned. He then began explaining word for word what he did. As I said previously, he began taking Georgina on lunch dates, but each date became later and later in the day until she eventually flirted about the possibility of taking her on a real date. How subtle. He decided to take the bait and said,
I like the sound of it. With Theo?
I don't know. I kind of like our one-on-one times. Don't you feel the same?
Of course I do, but I must say I feel bad about this. Wow. I'm getting embarrassed.
Oh, come on. I don't bite. She grabbed his arm into a squeeze, batting her eyelashes.
You're gorgeous. You know that. I know that. I just don't know if I'll be able to keep myself together.
Her smile widened for a second, but she tried to cover it up. Oh, I didn't expect this.
Me neither. I love my son, but...
I do too. But honestly, I haven't had as much fun with him as I have with you these past few lunches.
Oh, that's great to hear.
He proceeded to arrange a dinner date and told her to dress pretty, and she did. Long, sparkling red dress, my brother bought it for her. He was the one that asked me to help him pick it out. He debated on going to dinner first with Georgina to tease her some more or going straight for the kill. He decided on the first. They went to a 5-star restaurant parading around with music and wine. She truly was getting special treatment, and when it was over, he drove her down the highway past our town. Did I mention we lived in the state of Nevada? There are miles and miles of desert and forest. This is where he took her when she asked, "Where are we going?" He would only say,
"It's a surprise. I wanted to take you somewhere special. I hope that's all right."
"Sounds lovely. I just don't want Theo to worry. He thinks I'm out with friends."
You are.
He teased. When he got halfway to the destination, the facade of a happy-go-lucky guy began to fade. Georgina must have sensed it because she asked again, "Where are we going? It's getting kind of late, don't you think? We can come another time."
No, we can't. This is the last time I and my entire family will see you.
What?
Shut up. I know what game you're playing.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me out of this car.
Getting engaged to my son for inheritance? Trying a hand at me when it is no longer in question? Come on. I know what type of woman you are.
Randy, you're scaring me. Okay, I'm sorry if that's how you see it as. That's not how it happened. He laughed maniacally.
Honey, you don't need to lie anymore.
I'm not. She wrestled in her seat, trying to open the car door, but my father locked the doors and they weren't coming up. When she began fighting my father, he only said,
"I'm not going to kill you, let alone hurt you, so stop."
"It sounds like you are. Okay, I'm sorry. Please, just let me go."
Okay.
He pulled over after a few minutes in the middle of nowhere in the deep sandy sides. No cars were around. Warning, this part might sound crazy, but as I said, my father is not a nice man. He put chloroform into her face, making her pass out. He began driving again, this time to his destination, the forest. He picked her body up and began venturing deeper and deeper in there. He laid her against twigs and leaves and left a farewell note in her purse. Of course, he took her cell phone and wallet, and he left her there just like that. I was sick to my stomach. What was in the note?
Explaining that I'm in a crowd of horrible people and that calling the police will only cause her more pain and danger, and that she has to break up with Theo.
Georgina woke up a few hours later in the middle of the woods. It took her over 8 hours to find her way back to the open road, and when she did, she hitched a hike back home. I know all of this because she called me the next day. I had that conversation with my father. She was trying to warn me that my father was dangerous. That's probably the sweetest thing she's ever done. I laughed cynically before muttering, "I know. I'm the one that told him." She was too stunned to speak, and I was too tired to care. I hanged the phone and started my day. Theo didn't date anyone for a while, but when he did find someone, he took it nice and slow.